Wow, the new Elvis movie is getting a younger fan base all shook up. I saw it. It is great. And the king of rock and roll was the first artist, by the way, to sell over 1 billion records worldwide. And his record continues to sell today, all of them. Since the film's debut a few months ago, his Spotify fan base jumped more than 3 million subscribers in 2 days. And Elvis, 30 #1 hits, name of the album, is back on the Billboard chart for the first time in 19 years. Now, Tuesday will mark 45 years since his death, and as Elvis Week is underway at Graceland and through Memphis, I went to Memphis, Tennessee for an exclusive tour to understand the burning love that still exists for the iconic heartthrob.
Looking for trouble? Look right in my face. I was born standing up and talking back.
45 years since his death, there's still so much interest in Elvis. And then out comes the blockbuster movie, and there's even more. So what is it about this iconic figure? Well, if you want to unwind the mystery, you got to go to Graceland.
The first room we're going to see is the living room.
Right.
So the really unique thing about Graceland is that everything you see here is authentic. It is actually an artifact. Like that is Elvis's sofa. It was custom made for the house in 1957. It was originally blue. He had it covered white in the 60s, and it's been white ever since. So this would have been the master bedroom of the house, but Elvis took a suite of rooms upstairs. So this became his mother and father's room, and he let his mom Gladys design it. That's a picture of Elvis at the age of 5.
And I'm just struck by he had light hair.
Yes, Elvis was a blonde. He dyed his hair black because it thought it brought his facial features out on film better. Here in the jungle room, you get shag carpet in full force.
Right, you get a lot of
You get a lot of it.
And not only on the floor?
On the ceiling.
And why is that?
It was a decorator's idea at the time, but it made the room acoustically sound for recording.
Right.
So this actually became a makeshift recording studio for Elvis in 1976.
Now, there's a bar here, but he was not a big drinker.
He was not. That's really, the bars in the house are really for entertaining purposes only. So now we're going to head down to the basement. These rooms have their own personality.
Right.
Yeah. And this is where a lot of mayhem would take place sometimes. This is the original man cave.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is kind of the predecessor to modern day media rooms. Elvis heard that our former president, Lyndon Johnson, had 3 TVs in the Oval Office, and he thought that was a great idea.
2 things stand out in here besides the TVs. The yellow and the mirrors.
Yes. So the mirrors made the room look a little bit larger because you did mention the lower ceilings. And the yellow and blue color scheme came in '74, and it's kind of modeled after Elvis's logo of the 70s, which was taking care of business in a flash. You see the lightning bolt on the wall, that's part of the logo. He was an influencer before influencers were a thing.
Right.
And he never actually is intended to be a trendsetter.
To be different in high school, I don't care in what area you live,
Yes.
never easy.
Never easy. And Elvis, you know, was very shy and kind of kept to himself a little bit. But the people that he let in were truly amazing people that he could trust.
I started to understand that he was a lot more than a teenage boyfriend to my mom. They met when my mom was barely 16, and Elvis was 3 years older than her. Elvis came to my mother's church, which was First Assembly of God here in Memphis. She knew that he would not be the person to come up and approach her. So she had a conversation with her girlfriends in the church lobby, hoping that he would overhear her. And they were making plans to go roller skating the next Friday night. And she was hoping that Elvis overheard her and would come, and he did. I think that life takes us all in different directions. Dreams become bigger than what our hearts are sometimes, but their love was definitely true.
You sang with Elvis.
I did. I'm the only one ever photographed singing with Elvis. Anywhere.
What's around your neck?
This is what's called a TCB. He had this created.
TCB means taking care
of business. And if you were in Las Vegas and he was doing a show, everybody would see the guys with the TCB. For a long time, there were no knockoffs. If they saw this, they know this is the guy that can talk to Elvis.
So you say 1971 when he got the Outstanding Young
January
American.
16th.
January 16th. He went, the only award that anyone knows that he ever accepted in person, because it meant so much to him.
I sat at the table with him, and he was as nervous as a cat.
I learned very early in life that without a song, the day would never end. Without a song, a man ain't got a friend. Without a song, the road would never bend. Without a song. So I'll keep singing a song.
We're now in what we call Presley Motors, because if anyone deserved to have a car showroom, it was Elvis. When Elvis was able to buy his first car, even though it was a used Cadillac, it meant something. It was a status thing. We have records of him buying and giving away and owning over 200 cars in his life. This is a 1956 Continental Mark II. At the time, it was the most expensive car on the market.
Right.
It cost Elvis $10,000. This is the pink Cadillac. It was bought and used for touring, so the guys this was a work car. Elvis, Scotty, and Bill and DJ would drive this from city to city. This exhibit here is Elvis's 68 comeback special, a big turning point in his career. That is the black leather suit that Elvis wore during the rock and roll jam sessions of the 68 special.
Obviously, you had to be in good shape to get into this.
It's a 28-inch waist. The capes came in the early 70s. They were very plainly styled at first, became very heavily studded.
As I sit around these gold records and see all the accomplishments, Angie, I just cannot believe how much this man did in such a short time.
I know, it's such an amazing 23 years.
What do you miss most about him?
Being just around one of the most charming, fun guys. He was a powerful personality. Incredible.
That was such a great trip. I hope you loved the piece. Meanwhile, I got to urge you to buy this book. It is called Unlocked. It is by the actual first girlfriend, as far as we know, of Elvis Presley. They were friends their entire lives. It's go to Dixie Locke Emmons. She wrote the book. Unlocked will be a great book that if you loved Elvis, you're going to love this story. You probably haven't heard most of it before. Meanwhile, if you love that piece, we have a look at Elvis's impact on Memphis, Tennessee. Take a preview. Mostly African-American musicians, a lot of blues. His good friend B.B. King's store still stands, and the blues still plays. Elvis Presley would not have been Elvis Presley without this street and this music.
He supported everything about Bill Street and his music. When he died, Memphis was still trying to search and try to find a way out of the doldrums.
And he did that, and you're not going to believe his impact with St. Jude's and Danny Thomas. Don't miss next week, only on One Nation.